Alright, welcome back to WMMA Now with your host Chuck Stevenson. So, Bellator has made this fight official. I believe we've talked about it in a previous video, maybe like a earlier episode of the WMMA report, saying that this fight was reported, but this fight is now official. A flyweight bout between Liz Gorilla Carmouche and Deanna Vitamin D Bennett. So let's take a look at their stats here. Carmouche coming in 13-7, Bennett coming in at 10-6-1. Both of these fighters are coming off of a loss preceded by 2 wins. In Carmouche's case, she got a win over Jennifer Maia and then Lucia Pudilova before dropping a unanimous decision to UFC flyweight queen Valentina Shevchenko in one of the worst fights ever put on. Bennett, on the other hand, got a unanimous decision win over Liz Tracy in Invicta, a rear naked choke win over Deanna Torquato, also in Invicta, and then her most recent fight was a rear naked choke loss to Miranda Maverick just over 11 months ago. That was in the Invicta Phoenix Series 2 fight. Both are well into their 30s. Carmouche is 36. Bennett is 35. Carmouche is slightly taller, 5 feet 6 inches, 168 centimeters, to Bennett's 5 feet 4 inches, 163 centimeters. However, Bennett has a slightly longer reach, 67 inches, 170 centimeters, to Carmouche's 66 inches, 168 centimeters. So, I really don't want to talk about breaking down this fight. My big question is, why, Bellator? Like, what are you thinking with this fight? Now, before I completely tear this fight apart, I will say that Carmouche's intended opponent before was undefeated Canadian Mandy Bohm, who's only 6-0 in what was obvious gimme fight for Carmouche. So this is a step up from an obvious gimme fight to, this is going to be a tougher fight for Carmouche. So kudos to Bellator for that. However, this fight, I don't see it being anything but a cure for insomnia. Okay? You have 2 fighters who basically go in there not to win, but to not lose, and mostly employ either lay and pray or wall install, and do everything they can to not make a fight exciting. And you match them up against each other. I just don't understand the thinking behind this matchmaking. I really do not, from Bellator. Okay? Now, Carmouche, I've already said, I can't stand her. I respect her as a fellow veteran, but beyond that, I don't really have anything good to say about her. She just bores me to death. Everything about her is boring. Bennett, I actually kind of like her. She is an interesting character. She's weird, eccentric. She gives funny post-fight interviews. She pets Lorisenko on the head. I mean, she's kooky. She is a genuine character in a sport that has very few characters, and most of the fighters are just cookie cutters. So I actually like Bennett for that. However, her last several fights particularly are just wall install. They're just boring. They're not exciting at all. I mean, even when she submitted Deanna Torquato, it wasn't very exciting. Carmouche is coming off of a title fight where she did absolutely nothing that whole fight. 5 rounds, 25 minutes of her doing nothing. Her opponent, Valentina Shevchenko, did slightly more than nothing, so she managed to win. But Carmouche did absolutely nothing to justify winning a title in a title fight. She was given a title fight, and she did nothing with it. And that's why the UFC cut her, because that fight was that terrible. It was a main event in a brand new country that the UFC was moving into. And they got booed. Both of them got booed. That fight stunk up the place. That's why Carmouche is in Bellator. I just don't understand what Bellator is thinking with this. The best thing I can think of is that they are hoping that by putting two super boring stylistic fighters against each other that they'll somehow cancel it out and make it not boring. Possibly even, there's no way it'll be exciting, so no way. Maybe they're hoping to just cancel each other out. Maybe because they have relatively decent records, they're trying to build up a contender. We all know they want Carmouche to fight Ilima McFarlane. We all know McFarlane and Carmouche want to fight each other. Hopefully, Bennett will stop that from happening, because Lord knows, I don't want to see two teammates fight each other, especially when the champion said she'd love to lose to her teammate. Just don't understand this matchmaking. I mean, maybe they're bringing in Bennett because they don't want to sacrifice one of their known Bellator fighters to Carmouche and make her look bad against a boring fighter, because that's most likely what would happen to most of Bellator's flyweights. Maybe that's the reasoning behind it. So they're just signing Bennett from Invicta for that. Now, like I said, I like Bennett. I'm happy she's getting signed to go fight in Bellator. Hopefully they'll pay her, at least better than what Invicta has. But I'm not a fan of this particular matchup at all. I'm just not. Keeping with Bellator though, friendly reminder that the fight to make in the Bellator women's flyweight division is the title fight between Ilima McFarlane and Juliana Velasquez. I've been saying this for at least a year and a half, at least. Velasquez is undefeated as a pro, undefeated in Bellator, pretty sure. Juliana, B-E-L-A-S. Yeah, she's undefeated at 10-0. Ilima McFarlane is undefeated at 10-0. Velasquez didn't put on like the most exciting fight last time. I thought she could have gone for the finish more, but she did piece up Bruna Ellen pretty good there. And McFarlane didn't exactly put up a super exciting fight in her last one either. But that is definitely the fight to make. The two highest skilled fighters in the Bellator flyweight division, and Bellator seems reluctant to match these two up. But this is the fight to make. Alright, so that's it for what I want to talk about for Bellator. Now before I go, I wanted to shout out a seemingly brand new WMMA dedicated channel on YouTube. The channel is called Savage WMMA Fan. Just wanted to give them a shout out, say welcome to WMMA YouTube. Wanted to let you guys know about them. Go check them out. Now, if you like them, good. If you don't, okay. But the more channels promoting the women's divisions of mixed martial arts, the better. Personally, he's not my cup of tea. I watched several of his videos yesterday. I was like, okay, good. I'm not a fan personally, but maybe, hey, maybe you might be. So please go check him out. Welcome him, and if you like him, good. If not, maybe let him know what you think he could do better. I always welcome, honest criticism. So go check him out. Like I said, Savage WMMA Fan. Hey, Savage, welcome to WMMA YouTube. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Of course, if you liked the video, please give it a like. And what are you waiting for? Subscribe to WMMA Scene Now, the most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.